Are these sacred texts truly original? Imagine holding a book that has traveled through centuries, copying, translating, and surviving fires and wars. Now ask yourself, are the words inside it exactly what the original author first wrote? When we look at sacred texts, the truth is that the original manuscripts, what scholars call autographs, no longer exist. Instead, what we have are copies of these texts, sometimes copies of copies, made over many generations. Take the Bible as an example. The earliest parts were written on materials like papyrus and animal skins called vellum. These materials are fragile and don't last forever. Over time, the original writings wore out or were lost. What we find today are ancient manuscripts that can be hundreds of years after the original texts. Scholars compare these copies to figure out what the original might have said. They look for differences, which can happen because scribes made small mistakes or translated words differently. The New Testament, for instance, has the oldest surviving manuscripts from the 2nd century. The original letters from Paul or the Gospels by Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John are gone. What we have are copies made by scribes, sometimes with tiny errors. Despite these differences, the main messages and teachings stay consistent across thousands of copies. This shows how carefully these texts were preserved. Other sacred texts, like the Quran, are believed by Muslims to be exactly what Muhammad received from the angel Gabriel. The Quran has been preserved with great care since the 7th century. While some minor variations exist in early manuscripts, most scholars agree that the core text is very reliable. In spiritual exploration, it's important to see that the value of these texts isn't just about having the original document. It's about the message they carry and how they continue to speak to people today. The community that preserved these writings, the way they have been passed down, and the spiritual experiences of those who read them all matter. When studying sacred texts, we can trust that their main messages have stayed the same over time. Even if some words changed slightly, the core ideas remains. This allows us to focus on what the texts teach us about life, love, and growth. The power of these writings lies in their ability to guide and inspire, not just in their physical origins. So, in your spiritual journey, remember that the essence of these sacred texts continues to live on, helping us find meaning and direction every day.